In this project, we're going to talk about captions. Tables, graphics, and equations, collectively referred to as figures, can be a significant source of information within a document. In most cases, these elements appear in line near the text that references them. Sometimes, however, it is necessary to reference these elements from other locations. To simplify this process, you can insert figure captions that label each of these elements. You can then easily insert cross references to the captioned figures. By default, captions use the 1, 2, 3 number format. You can select a different number format for each type of captioned element if you prefer. In the caption, the number is preceded by a label of your choice. The default options are equation, figure, and table, or you can create a custom label such as image or map. The number can also incorporate a reference to the current chapter. So to demonstrate this, let's open up the Project 12 document that you created. So first, sign in. If you haven't signed in yet, go ahead and pause the video and do that. And then we'll go to File and Open. Go to your OneDrive, and under Recent Folders, click Word Projects. And then click on Project 12 followed by your name and click Open. This will open up the Joe Stafford Wikipedia article that we worked with in Project 12. Now scroll down within the document and find the photo that appears under early years. The caption reads The Singing Stafford Sisters in 1941. Now I called this a caption, and it is, but Wikipedia doesn't, since I just copied this from Wikipedia, the caption is inserted as regular text. It's not actually a word caption. So what we're going to do is highlight the caption for the photo, and then on the Home tab of the ribbon in the Clipboard group, click Cut. Now click on the photo. Once you've clicked on the photo, you'll notice you've got Picture Tools format up here, and you've got the handles all the way around the photo, so that tells you that you have selected the photo. Now click on the References tab, and click Insert Caption. Now it tells you, it gives you a caption to begin with. As I mentioned, you can, for options, you can choose to call this, you can change what the label is. You can also select the position where you want the caption in relation to the picture, either above or below. You can also choose to set up a new label by clicking the New Label button. So let's do that and then type image and click OK. So this is going to set up a new label for our images. So there will now be an image label in the list. Now that you've added it, you could delete it if you want, but we don't want to. And then click Numbering. Now recall that the default format is 1, 2, 3. You could instead change it to ABC, capital ABC, or Roman numerals. You can also choose whether to include a chapter number or not. And you can specify how the chapters are specified within your document. Usually it would be probably a heading 1 or 2, depending on whether or not you have sections within your document and chapters divided into sections or chapters grouped into sections. We're not going to use that feature though, so uncheck or leave include chapter number unchecked. And click OK. So we haven't actually made any changes here. You could click cancel if you want, but we're going to click OK because we didn't make any changes. Okay, now up in the caption box, hold the Control button and press V. That's going to add the text that you copied, the actual caption, and place it inside the caption. And then actually click before the T and press the space bar to insert a space. All right, now click OK, and you'll notice we now have a caption below the photo. It says Image 1, The Singing Stafford Sisters. Okay, so we'd like to insert a cross-reference to this image. If we scroll down to the next page, you'll notice there's a mention of the vocal group the Stafford Sisters. So what we want to do is click immediately following the word sisters before the period, and then click cross-reference. Now the reference type drop-down allows us to, we can actually cross-reference anything within our document, such as headings, bookmarks, footnotes, etc. But because we've set up this image type, we're going to cross-reference an image. So click on image. You can experiment with these features, but we're going to use entire caption. Choose insert as hyperlink so that we'll create a link that will take people back to the picture. And then you want to choose which element you're inserting the caption for. In this case, we only have one, image one, so that's already selected. If you had more than one, you need to choose the one. And click insert. Now there we go. We now have a link to image one. And if we control click on it, it will take us up to image one. Now obviously this isn't the ideal layout. We'd probably want to put this in parentheses and say something like C. Um, but you get the idea. So we've had fun with that one. Let's try another one. Let's scroll down to the next picture. Uh, Once again, highlight the caption, and this time hold Control and press X to cut the caption. That does the same thing as going to the Home tab and clicking on Cut. Now click on the picture, and then click the References tab, if you're not already there, and click Insert Caption again. Image 2 will automatically be in the caption, so hit space and hit Control V to paste. Now click OK, and you'll notice once again we have the caption inserted. Now scroll up to the previous page. After the words "the Pied Pipers" here, right before this reference to 6 and 24, before the period, press space and then press an opening parentheses and say C space and then click cross-reference. Again, we want to reference an image. This time, let's only use the label and number. And we want to reference image 2. Again, make sure Insert as Hyperlink is selected, click Insert. And then close our parentheses. So now, instead of having the full caption there, we have just image 2. But again, if we control click on it, it will take us down to the image. Let's scroll down a little bit farther and do one more. Now before we do this, we want this entire caption to be on one line. So click before the P in photograph and hit backspace, and then hit period space. Now highlight the entire caption and press Control X to cut. Click on the photo. On the References tab, click Caption. In the caption box, press space and then Control V to paste and click OK again. That will insert that again. Now, it doesn't really matter where we insert this one, but let's go down to the last paragraph on page 6. It starts the success of Stafford's solo career. After Stafford's, press space, parentheses, C, and click cross-reference. We want to reference image 3. And this time, let's only include the caption text. Make sure we're still inserting as a hyperlink and click Insert. And then we can close the parentheses. Now, since we're not referencing an image number, I would see this as the least useful of the options we've explored. But um, the point is you do have many options. Finally, we're going to look at inserting a table of figures. Now, if you've picked up a textbook or a large report, you may have seen a table of figures. Table of figures helps you to quickly find um, images, illustrations, graphs that are in the book. For example, if you were reading a chapter and you saw something you liked, and now you're remembering you didn't write down the page number, you can go to the table of figures to try to find it more quickly. So let's scroll down to the end of the document and click actually click on the line that ends retrieved January 6, 2013. Just click right at the end of that line. Go to the Insert tab and click Page Break. We're going to insert a new page. If you got number 124 at the beginning, go ahead and backspace to get rid of that, and then backspace again so that we end up back at the margin. Now go back to References and click Insert Table of Figures. We've got some options here. Show page numbers. We do want page numbers, that way people can very quickly get to the page where this image is. And we can choose whether or not we want to right align page numbers. I like that look. Let's do that. And we've got this tab leader. Remember we used the tab leader when we were doing the phone book. Let's keep the default for that. And let's leave the rest of these as is and click OK. And once you've clicked OK, you should see the 3 images that you've inserted captions for. And it'll say image 1 followed by the caption and then the page number. Each of these is also a link, so if you hold Control and click on it, it will take you to that image. So when you're working with larger documents, this can be a very useful feature. Let's go to File and Save As. We're going to save this as the Project 13 document. So you should have a current folder option because we've got a project file from the Word Projects folder open. So if you do, click on Word Projects under there. If not, it should also be under Recent Folders, and of course you can click Browse if you don't see it anywhere. So you want to click Word Projects somewhere. And then we'll change the name to Project 13, followed by your name, and click Save. Now I said we're going to change the name, but remember that when we save as, we're actually not renaming the original file, we're making a copy of the file with the new name. Go back to File, and go to Share, and type in my email address. And you want to share this with me. Okay. If this is your last project for the day, don't forget to go to Account and sign out. Otherwise, you can move on to the next project.